Royce. Daniel Marlon, wonderful.
Fantastic from Royce. Jude Bellingham, that's excellent. Jude Bellingham, this is absolutely brilliant. Jude Bellingham, absolutely magnificent. Rena, brilliant from the American, just like that. The best of clearances. Oh, what a volley. Matt Hummels.
Grant in for Haaland, like he's never been away. The man in front of goal who is simply deadly.
Hey, welcome back to the BVB podcast. My name's Jake, joined as always by Carver. How are you doing, man? How's it going?
I'm doing well, thanks.
So we got a special guest joining us this week. We are going to be talking about the Haller update. I know we didn't allude to anything. We were questioning what was going to happen with Haller. So we are going to talk about him and his health updates. We're going to do a recap of our Pokal match. Quickly talk about our friendly that happened the day after the Pokal match. Some of you might have missed it. I kind of missed it. And then our guest Adam is joining us to talk about the women's team, which we'll get into later on in the episode. But Adam, thanks for joining us again. How are you doing, man?
Good. Anytime is a fun time to chat with you guys about Dortmund. So I'm very excited to be on again. Appreciate you asking me. And yeah, let's talk.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, happy to have you. You're basically a regular at this point. You're the third host, and we know what we're here for. It.
Is this your third time with us?
I think it's like
more than that.
Fourth,
probably more than that.
Yeah, maybe third time on the show.
Third time full on.
A couple things, but yeah.
Well, yeah, always good to have you. It's always a good episode.
Those are rookie numbers. We got to bump those up.
We need to step it up. Sorry. We'll send you more invites every week if you want.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we'll get into. This is like the official kickoff to the season, kind of, because we just had the first Pokal match. Bundesliga starts this week, so we are going to be back every week after this. I feel like I got to shout out the 5-star review. If anyone wants to, we'll put it out there right now. If anyone wants to give us a 5-star review, we'll start giving some shout outs. If you do it on Apple Podcast and you say some nice things about us, we'll give you a shout out. I forget who the review is from, but he did question our, what was it? I forget what he put.
Like his
commitment and consistency. And I was like, hey man, we're taking a summer break, which I appreciate the review no matter what, but if you listen to the episodes, we even said that we were taking some breaks. So we're back for that guy, whatever his name was. We're back week after week from here on out until the summer.
Yeah, you guys were not alone taking a bit of a summer break. I think everyone it was a lot of football, and there's going to be a lot of football going ahead. So taking a few weeks off, if it really just was a few weeks, was absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Even then, I mean, it feels like, I mean, not that I'm complaining, but it just feels so short-lived. I've been going around, my place just saying how excited I've been. Like, man, it's already back this weekend. Or, I mean, with the Pokal and everything, it's a short-lived summer. But to get into the Haller thing, I was wondering, because I think even like a week or two before this announcement came out just a few days ago, saying that it was a malignant tumor and he will miss 7 months. People were using the term like cancer like a month ago. And I don't know, that just felt really just gross to me that all these like, quote unquote, big top tier sources were using that term when the club itself was like, respect his privacy. We don't know anything yet. He's going to get tested. He's going to go to different specialists. Let's just see how things go. And people were tossing around that term, and now that it is confirmed, I mean, it does look like a malignant tumor. And, I know sporting director Sebastian Kehl has a quote saying Sebastian will now receive the best possible treatment. Chances of a full recovery are very good. We wish him and his family a lot of strength and optimism, and our thoughts are with him during this difficult time. So thankfully, they were onto it pretty quick and getting him into the treatment he needs right away, which is all we could hope for right now. And
right before the Pokal match, which I literally just started watching like a couple hours ago. So I'm fresh in my mind. But they mentioned that he already had his procedure. So he's already is starting his recovery process. Is it going to be 7 months or is it just a few?
I think they said several.
Okay.
Which, it just really just depends on how speedy the recovery process is. And given that it was malignant, it probably will be longer than a shorter amount of time. But at this point, it's just, hoping he can get to his full recovery outside of the sport, obviously, and just, getting to an optimal health as soon as possible.
Yeah. And I know there's been some talk of like maybe we're going to sign someone on loan. all the names that have popped out, I don't know how serious these ones. I know there's people keep putting Ronaldo in a Dortmund shirt, which I don't really care for.
I think Adam was actually the one that was photoshopping though.
Oh no, that was not me.
Were there any names that stuck out to you, but either of you? That
I'm gonna go Adam. Yeah, any names that stuck out to you?
I mean, obviously, seeing the Ronaldo rumors
it
was a hilarious couple of hours when it seemed like people actually thought that was a thing.
I saw another one today. It's been more than a couple hours. They're still floating around.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
It might just be our timeline.
Maybe, yeah.
I can't really say too many stuck out to me. One that was interesting to me because I always wondered what it would be like to have him in Dortmund for a brief time. And I saw the name Anthony Modeste floated a little bit. And just like, getting him on like a 6-month loan would have been kind of cool just to finally he's been rumored, off and on for like, I don't know, he was an Aubameyang replacement at some point, I think, back in the day when we were trying to replace him. In fact, he may have even been who was Aubameyang's backup in like 2015-16 there. That was really good. I can't even remember his name. He had scored like 12 goals off the bench or something. Totally blank in my mind. But yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think Modeste is hurt too. I think I saw he came off came out of the cup game with an injury. So I don't know if he's out long term or anything, but hopefully it was just a knock for him. But yeah, I don't see like making a big signing when we have Adeyemi, we have Daniel Malen, we have Yusufa Moukoko. To bring someone in would basically, why are we bringing multiple guys in for $30 million then? Why would Moukoko stick around if we were just going to, fill in this 6 month or 7 or who knows what gap with just some random veteran when we've invested years in Moukoko? Like, let these guys do it, I think. I don't see anybody that makes me want to change my mind there.
Yeah, I think it was the BVB News blog tweeted earlier that there is a new contract on the table that has been like officially handed to Moukoko, but he's going to take the next few months to see, how the club treats him going forward and how they treat the situation with Haller and everything. Also, this is just off the top of my head. Was it Batshuayi? Because I was trying to think.
Not Batshuayi. I will get this name for us.
And I was like, I just got stuck in my head. I know it wasn't Immobile because he didn't score much at all. But anyway, I know another rumor or another name that's popped up on that list that's also been linked to us for like what seems like a century now is Edin Dzeko, which I liked that one. That one was that name stuck out to me at least compared to most of the other people. But that and Batshuayi as well, because Batshuayi has been a part of the Chelsea loan army since he arrived at Chelsea, which was like a 2015 or something like that. He's been on loan for several years now, and he just can't seem to find a place where he can actually go and get some regular minutes. So I know it would be another loan, but at the same time, at least it'd be to a place where he has found success and has found a club where the supporting fan base actually gives him the support he needs.
Yeah, the name I was thinking was a truly deep cut Adrian Ramos. That name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yep. Yeah. A classic, a legend.
I'll go back to the Moukoko thing real quick. I don't know how true any of the rumors were or if they were looking at names seriously at all. The thing with Moukoko, it's like this is a chance for him. Like it is the chance, and the chance he's probably needed to really show if he can be the player that we need and we want him to be. So it is a really good opportunity for him to step in and step up. And my only thought is, like, say he did get injured, it would be nice to have someone else, even if it was an older player like Dzeko. I was
going to say, yeah, and he has like those different qualities as well. If he brings something different to the table, he's got players like Dzeko. I mean, a lot of the names that they were throwing around, like in general, like Modeste and all them, they had like the physical presence and they had more of like an aerial threat kind of ability to their game.
Yeah. I don't think it would be a terrible thing if we had someone just almost like a break in case of an emergency. Just in case. And obviously we still have, say, Moukoko did go out injured, we still have a number of different guys who could fill into that role. Malen, who was looking incredible, although coming off that left side. He was coming off that left side, which I loved last season. So I don't know. I don't know what there's no players out there that I see and I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely what we need, because Haller was that like all summer long. That's the guy we had our eyes on and we were hoping for. We got him, and now this has happened. So I just hope Moukoko can step up and
Fill in those shoes. Yeah. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
If we got someone, it would have to be someone better than Torgan Hazard because he's literally sitting right there. Probably not going to be used at all. So I don't know. I like Torgan more than most, but we'll see.
Yeah, I wonder if he can pick up any sort of consistent form because his first season with us, I was like, wow, he's actually been able to kind of translate his form. And I'm not that it's a huge step up, but it is like a sort of a step up from a team like Gladbach to a team like Dortmund and getting, pretty much guaranteed Champions League every year. And then just with the injuries and I guess lack of consistent minutes, he just couldn't pick up any really regular form, unfortunately. But I'm hoping he could be, maybe some sort of redemption arc out of him. And to kind of segue into when we were mentioning Moukoko earlier, I did like what I saw from him in the Pokal game. Obviously didn't score any, but had some good link-up plays with the attack and led our team well. I mean, our attack looked really exciting in general. I mean, I just had so much fun watching this game. I can't remember the last time. I wanted to not try to sound like dramatic. As I was watching it, and I was really trying to think about it, but I was like, I don't remember maybe more than like 45 minutes to an entire game last season where I saw this much like collectiveness, togetherness, team spirit, just the collective ideas that we had going forward and defending as a team as well. It almost felt like a rarity to see.
It struck me after the game because it was really enjoyable. And I thought to myself, I was like, that felt a lot like watching the Dortmund women's team, like the way that they basically control everything the whole time. Obviously I'm not making, comparisons between the two sides, but just the feeling of watching that game where it's like, I don't know, 24 shots to 1, I think it was, 76% possession. We saw a lot of that last year on the women's side, and it was very comfortable. And it was a nice feeling to actually be comfortable as a Dortmund fan. Not just comfortable, but like excited about what's happening in front of you. Like cool things are happening, like Donnie Mullen's doing things. And even, coming off the bench, there were some nice spots in the middle there when Bino Gittins was like linking up with Moukoko on some plays. It was just really fun to watch.
Yeah, and not even just like comfortable in possession as well. I mean, we dominated possession a bunch last year, but did we show any urgency with that possession? A lot of the times, arguably most of the time, in my opinion, I would think not. But we kept our foot on the gas, which is something else that I just thought we didn't do a lot last year, and just kept hammering them and suffocating them. And yeah, you mentioned Malen already. He looked like a whole brand new signing. We saw very small glimpses here and there last year, but you really got to see, at least for those 45 minutes in the first half, him put on a show for the fans. It was fun to watch. I know we also mentioned like that quality that he has of like I don't know hockey terms, but if I'm not getting it wrong, like those quick like snapshots almost.
Slap shot, man.
Slap shots. But like the ability that he has to take on those shots without like breaking his stride and just in being like the same motion to cut in and then just fire one off the way he did to score that goal that quick and to have like that kind of shot power and accuracy. It's lethal, man. It's lethal.
And we saw that a couple times before his goal, which was super early in the game. At like 8th minute he scored, but it definitely, he had that exact same cut in, really quick shot off his right boot, like just out of net. Like I mean, the commentators were talking about it, but that's so hard for the keeper to see that it makes it nearly impossible if he's accurate with it.
To react with that time, yeah. What were you saying, Adam? Sorry?
Yeah, the quickness. I'm glad you pointed that out because there were a lot of things that it was like not only the quick movements with the shots, but like the decisions, like on the goal that Bellingham scored that Royce assisted. I thought Royce was going to get caught offside, but luckily Malen noticed that run and did that really, really quick turn to lay it off to him just at the perfect time. So I thought that he just seemed like he was in mid-season form when everyone else, around him, well, I guess on 1860, I should say, was not yet. He just looks very advanced right now. I didn't really watch any of the friendlies, and I heard that he did well in those as well. And, it was not surprising to hear that after seeing how he did in those, particularly those first 35 minutes. He had the goal, assist, and the pre-assist all in the first 35 minutes. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I'm glad Terzic is giving him the confidence and backing that Malen really needs going into his second season to give him some regular minutes because, he keeps getting more and more of those, the time on the pitch he's going to keep picking up for him. And, yeah, we're here for it. I know you and I, Jake, were defending him last year and saying like this, some players just need time, and Ballin is just one of those players that needs more time.
Yeah.
And he's really starting to prove himself.
Yeah, we saw some really like quick glimpses like last season. Like there were some really great moments we saw, but the inconsistency, I think just how we were lining up and obviously the injuries and everything, like did nothing to help him or be able to grow and develop. But the fact that he's starting so strong already, and especially coming off a match like this, granted, I know like the opponent's not that great. It's not
third division.
So, but still, I think it's such a good confidence boost to start the season with a game like that where he just looked incredible and has been already playing well. And I'm sure he's feeling great physically too. He looks a little more trim. Like he definitely wasn't overweight or anything, but he looks a little more trim and he's looking super quick. And yeah, so it's exciting to see. And I think it's really exciting for him, especially if he can lock in that position right now. Like I would say he definitely starts over anyone else I've seen on that left side.
Yeah. I can't really think of anyone on the top of my head that slots in at least like more normally on that left side. Yeah.
Well, my understanding was that that's where Adeyemi played, and they were kind of redundant for that reason. But then seeing Adeyemi on the right-hand side was nice as well. Everything is with a grain of salt because it's third division opponent. Yeah. Although, that doesn't always mean a whole lot. Like, look at us last year with the second division team. Look at Bayer Leverkusen over the weekend as well. So, any successful performance against any side, I'm going to take as a good thing. The flip side of it is I don't know what to make of the defense at all because they really – is it because they didn't have to do anything because 1860 didn't actually – form any attacks, or were they just so good that there weren't any shots? Maybe there's a little bit of both. Like there was that one monster tackle from Schlotterbeck, which those are the things you remember is the monster tackle. But yeah, I was trying to remember were there no shots because they were just so cohesive? There wasn't any last ditch stuff going on. Like how many times Akanji had to run back and do that last ditch tackle, and those are the things you remember, but you remember them because they were put in this shitty situation and had to make up for it. It says a lot that there weren't those shitty situations to make up for it.
Yeah, I know Coble wasn't tested too much, but it did look like at times we were still vulnerable on those little counterattacks here and there. They were going down the wings, and again, it's one of those moments where you're looking when they're coming at you with pace on the wings, and you're like, man, there's like maybe two of us back. Again, a number 6 would really help in that situation, and or just focusing on being more compact at the back as well, which I know now that Sule came out at half and he's picked up that knock, I think it's like a 2 to 3 week thing. Terzic was saying that he felt something in his thigh. I wonder how we're going to go about filling that other hole next to Schlotterbeck. Are we going to go with Hummels? I know a lot of people, it looked like online, weren't too happy about that, but now you're looking at a Kenji and it doesn't look too promising either. The club looks like they're kind of giving him the same cold shoulder that they've been given to Schultz and Berkey in recent months too.
Adam, I do have a question for you, but real quick, as we're talking through the game, we've mentioned stuff here and there. I just want to run through the lineup real quick. It was Coble in goal. We had Guerrero left back, Schlotterbeck, Sule in the middle, center backs, not middle of the park. Meunier, it was good to see him back. Dahoud and Bellingham were sitting in the middle, and then Royce playing at number 10 with Malin, Adeyemi, and Mokoko up front. Mm-hmm. And so I know you ran that poll about Akanji and getting minutes, and I'm curious how the numbers, how those looked on Twitter.
The vast majority said, so yeah, just to recap, I said, how many minutes is Akanji going to get this year? I posted this right after seeing the Sula news, and it was 0, 1 to 500, 500 to 1,000, 1,000 plus, I think. About almost half said 0. There's a lot of people that are convinced he's going. Maybe there were 20% that saw him getting 500 plus minutes, which led to a question I was going to ask you guys, like, at what price is it worth keeping Akanji and then just letting him walk to have that safety net of a pretty damn good center back as the number 3 or 4 option?
I was just looking at that online earlier today too. I know he's only got 1 year, and people are like, he's obviously doesn't want to extend with us, and he's not. And Terzic and it looks, I think if I'm not wrong, Terzic and Kale both said he's not in their long-term plans. But at the same time, something goes awry, which looks like it's already is with, two very valuable players. I know one's in attack, but, Soule's been injury prone, looks like a good amount of his career. Hummels picks up knocks in here and there, especially as he gets older. I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of, how Akanji has been behind the scenes, but I do think he is valuable enough and has been at least professional enough in the sense that he could still play in moments that we need him. I'm not saying he, deserves a new contract with $10 million a year. I'm not even saying he deserves to start most games, but if he's going to be under contract and he's going to be here one more year, which is looking more and more likely by the week, I personally go about playing him whenever I see necessary.
Yeah, I think it kind of comes down to his attitude, because who really knows what's going on? But we've heard the attitude's not great, and obviously he didn't want to sign a contract, which is an extension, which is why we have that perception that he doesn't want to be here. And I know, from what we see, his hopes were Man United, and it looks like, I don't know if anything's coming through from Man United. Yeah. So I mentioned it last time. It's man, you can't just put to Akanji, you can't just mention or put all your eggs in this Man United basket if that's not what's going to happen. And so I think maybe if this is going to be a reality check for him, and if he maybe hunkers down and is okay, maybe it's not so bad at Dortmund, but really realizes that, because I don't think the club environment is in a terrible, it's not a bad club to be at. Our facilities and everything is I don't know. It's a pretty great situation at Dortmund, I think. So if he can almost suck it up and have a good attitude about it, then yeah, I think he's right up there at maybe he sits behind Soule and Schlotterbeck as our third best center back.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a tough year for him to suck it up, though, because I know he's going to want minutes ahead of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Then again, maybe he'll be the only player still healthy around the World Cup, and he'll get to play by default. Who knows? But I mean, I haven't heard any difficulty in the background, but there could be that. I
was going to say pretty much that exact same thing too, Adam, of that's what's even made it even more confusing for me is players when they want to either play for their national team for a tournament, and on top of that want a new contract, whether it's at the same club or elsewhere, and they want it to be as big as Akanji wants it to be. Why wouldn't you be trying to be as professional as you can be and performing at your absolute best? It looks like the window is closing really rapidly for pretty much any team that he wanted to go to, or at least thought about. I know, rumors range from Juventus, which that poll pretty much is, or that window is pretty much gone. United doesn't look like it's going to happen. Chelsea for a little while I thought could happen because they're losing so many center backs. That doesn't look like it's going to happen anymore. Inter, same thing. I'm not sure if there's any other options at the moment besides just to really, put your head down and try to perform at your best, and not even necessarily for a new contract. If it's less of a priority for as you getting to the World Cup and playing for your national team, then that should be your motivation as well.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if an offer came in for $8 million or something, I would rather keep him than sell him for that fee. I think the $8 million is what we should pay to have that insurance at the back for a season like this. Especially where we've got a couple issues already. What is the figure that would change my mind? Is it 12? Is it 15? Maybe 15 is, I feel a little different. The club could use that money, but if it's just going to be a few million, I don't see a reason to sell him when we could have him as a depth option.
Yeah. Yeah. He's worth way more than 8 too. I agree with you.
With Soule and Schlotterbeck, do you think there's he could be a starter? Could he fight or be good enough to knock one of them out?
For Soule or Schlotterbeck?
Yeah.
No, I say no. Adam?
No, I do think that it would be interesting if they did start experimenting with a back three. Mm-hmm. And if Hummels was that quarterback, I think Akanji would be a good option on one of the outside spots. What is the right side he likes better? So, I mean, he would give us the flexibility to maybe try 3. If he was sold and we didn't bring anybody in, there's no chance we're going to be able to even try 3 at the back, because all of a sudden there's no Zagadoos to use. There's no Congrats to use. We're pretty thin back there.
Yeah. It's a tough situation for both ends of the pitch, attack and defense. It was such a phenomenal summer so far of the transfer window, and then just everything that's been going on recently in the last few weeks. Now it's just kind of a big question mark of how this season's going to go. I was saying last week that a back 3 I think would work at least for the opening month or so of the season when you're not having a Champions League and then switching every 2 or 3 days to the league, and you have full week to prepare for other games, I think a back three could be feasible, but it just depends, I guess, how August goes with the Kenji and everything.
So we'll quickly wrap this Pokal game. I just want to know if there's any other stuff that like stuck out to you guys. Standout performances, Malin obviously up there. My one note from this is you kind of mentioned it earlier about Adeyemi and Malin maybe playing on one side, but seeing Adeyemi on the right, I see them like as very similar players, and they're both super quick, and I think that's just extremely threatening. I love having those like just this like dual attack coming in from the wings, where they can cut real quick and they have that pace and that speed, and they both have. I know Adeyemi's goal was it wasn't the most accurate shot. It bounced in. It wasn't great goalkeeping, but it went in. And to have that threat on both sides, I think is really exciting, especially with maybe our striker situation, a bit of a mystery at the moment. So I really like that attacking presence. Is there anything that stuck out to you guys besides?
I mean, just Bellingham is still great.
I was going to talk about Bellingham too.
We didn't talk about Bellingham yet, and I think that's because we've gotten to the point now that Bellingham, his 10 out of 10 is just a given at this point.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so good.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. And I know he was mentioning, I forget what kind of, it might have been the podcast that he was doing with, Patrick Owomayela a few weeks back. And he was talking about how he kind of wants to be a little bit more like an advanced box-to-box midfielder, get in those areas where he can score more goals. And he was doing just that with that assist from Royce. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about Bellingham either. I feel like it's every week, but at the same time, I mean, if he keeps performing at that level, then it's granted. It's it's a given.
Yeah.
I mean, on that note, as far as him getting more advanced, I think that's maybe why he can't do that so much is because we haven't really had a CDM. And so with our option coming in with Özcan, I'm going to mispronounce his name every single time I try to say it. I'm going to say it differently every time. Yeah. I'll figure it out eventually. Once we see him and I hear the commentators say it, I'll be able to pick it up. But once we see him, that's been frustrating too, that he's been injured coming into this. So we have not seen him at all. So hopefully he just like beds in well, and hopefully he can be that CDM that we need. And then maybe that will give Bellingham a little more flexibility and opportunity to move forward and get some more goals.
Yeah, maybe we find that a proper six like Özcan feels a little bit like a third center back, like that extra cushion there. It'll be very. I can't wait to see him. I'm hearing like Lars Pullman like picking him as like the player of the year, and I'm like, ooh, I guess I haven't watched him like quite closely enough at Culham. But I'm really excited to see him, just having a player in a role that like seems like it was made for them is going to be fun.
I completely agree. I'm going to be super excited to see him kind of tuck in almost at time. I mean, not to be a center back, but like tuck in between those two center backs and hopefully pick some passes out and plug up those holes because, even though we're looking, pretty stable and more stable compared to last year, at least so far against these kind of lowered competition, I still think we are kind of vulnerable on those counterattacks, and he could hopefully help pick out those crosses and everything and be a fireman in that sense. But go ahead.
Well, we saw that last season with Chan kind of dropping back to that where we switched to like a back three while we're in the attack and seeing we see our fullbacks transition into wingbacks and go fly up the pitch. So if he's kind of familiar with that role or playing more of a CDM, he's probably more familiar with that role. So that would be very exciting to see. I would like that a lot.
Yeah. And
that just solves the solution as far as do we have enough defenders to play a 3-back? But if we can do that transitional movement with him dropping back, then that's
and it looks like he'll be back. I don't think he'll be back in time for the Leverkusen game. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like the progress on his recovery from his knock that he picked up during the summer is going pretty well, and hopefully he'll be back very soon. But to kind of segue into the preview against Leverkusen this week. I saw that also Leverkusen lost in the first round of the Pokal against, was it Elversberg? Don't know pretty much anything about them, but I did watch the highlights, and it looked like they're having some struggles as well in different departments of their game. Holozek did score. I don't know if that was his first goal for Leverkusen or not, but like Adeyemi, it looks like they're both kind of gained some confidence as they're netting one early before the season even starts. So,
and it was like Adeyemi's where it was a pretty.
I was going to say that too. Yeah, yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, I looked at Elversberg right before this. They topped the 4th tier, and they're brand new to the 3rd tier and won their first game in the 3rd division this season. Sounds like they haven't lost in this calendar year yet, which is pretty impressive.
Wow. I thought I heard something like that too.
4th and 3rd tier, and taking Leverkusen in the cup is pretty awesome. They lost in last year's cup to Mainz in the first round, but took them to penalties.
Interesting.
I mean, I know I was kind of dogging on, we were playing a 3rd division team, but it is the cup. Crazy stuff happens. Yeah. You mentioned it earlier. And so I'm going to go right back to our recap and just say, to win that comfortably, 3-0, and having so much control and position and not too many scary moments like that, I'd say that's a good win. Good win in the cup. So,
yeah.
And to compare it with Leverkusen, I mean, things can happen in the cup. That's where you see like a weird 1-0 loss where things didn't fall your way, but they conceded 4 goals in this cup match, and that's a lot of goals to concede. I mean, and we can say it, we've been there, but yeah, it's not a good look. So I'm curious what that means for Leverkusen, besides not having to play midweek cup matches.
Yeah, and I also know, obviously, the last time that we played against Leverkusen, it was a bit of a thrashing as well. I'm wondering how we're going to go about setting this up. Thankfully, we're not going to have the partnership of Zagadou and Akanji anymore, because that was just looking like error central. But I'm also curious to see how we're going to be able to deal with their talent on the wings. I know they have Diaby, who's been a phenomenal young talent for them. You have Holozic now as well, and you have Schick in the middle. And our wingbacks aren't the most offensive wingbacks. Meunier and Guerrero could be also basically just midfielders. So I wonder how we're going to be able to match up with them coming down, again, with those counterattacks as well. I mean, Frimpong as well is another person that escaped my mind until just now, but he was tearing us up on the right-hand side as well. So I hope we can be able to deal with those waves of counterattacks accordingly.
Right. This match does have the potential to be the one that dampens the excitement, because now our defense will actually be put to the test, whereas it really wasn't in the first match. But then at the same time, Leverkusen's defense is going to be put to the test, with our attack. So we could be seeing a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Are you expecting? I meant to mention this when I went through the lineup earlier, but I mean, we saw arguably our strongest lineup, healthy lineup in that Pokal match. So do you think that's kind of what we're, with the exception of Sule not being in, do you think that's kind of what we're going to see on week 1 this weekend?
Yeah, I'd assume so. I think Hummels will slot in. I don't see any other option for like a number 6, so I assume Dahoud will be back there. Might be. I don't know who else we would start it instead of Moukoko there. We'd have to put a Brandt in on the side or something like that. So I have the feeling we'll probably stick with what we had.
I would imagine that as well. And hopefully, I was thinking, just to go back to about the defense, I think Schlotterbeck will help a lot more with those, helping with the counterattack, just because he's got so much more pace than Zagadou, but he's not error prone. He's just from that small glimpse against Munich, or 1860 Munich, he had just a phenomenal tackle. So he's able to get back and put out fires. And also, and not that it's like necessarily an overall good thing, but Leverkusen is going to be without Wirtz too, which he was linking up play for Leverkusen against us last time beautifully and just tearing us up on pretty much any side of the pitch you could point to. But I think he's still out till at least like November or something with his long-term injury. So that's going to take out, I would imagine, a good amount of sting of their attack as well.
Any other thoughts before, the big chunk of this episode? We got to talk about you, Adam, about all the women's team and everything going on with them. But any final thoughts, final predictions?
I was about to say, what about score predictions? Does anybody want to go first?
I'm going to go, we're starting the season at home. We're starting the season excited, although we have some injuries.
Yeah.
And I know some people are freaking out like it's already happening again.
It kind of is.
It kind of is, but I don't want to think about it too much. I'm still optimistic. Yeah. I'm going to say 3-0.
Clean sheet.
3-0 at home. Yeah, Kopel's not letting anything in. Yeah, right.
Adam?
I had one score that popped into my head, and I'll just stick with it. I'm going to say a 4-2 win. Lots of goals.
I was going to there's no way we keep a clean sheet. I hope we do. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to go 4-1, actually. I feel like I think we're going to get three 3 relatively early on, and then they score 3-1, and then we put the game to bed with a 4-1 towards the end of the game. And
oh no, we'll concede minute 1.
No, that's I was about to ask.
That's actually
Carver
pretty.
said we're going to score early, and I was going to ask, are you sure? Because last year with the team we let a goal in, and then I didn't lose confidence yet because I'm like, well, at least we can bring one back. Yeah. I know that.
That's actually the Dortmund signature as well.
Now. Yeah.
That's the key to success this year is not conceding first. I think. Maybe I'm just going to bring down all my expectations. And I think maybe at the end of the season, if I look back and I notice that we did not concede first, maybe that's the only win I need to take.
All right. So all wins though. That's nice at least. All relatively comfortable wins from all of us. I like that. Let's move on to the women's team. I've been needing to know some much needed updates. If I could try to pull up, we had a question actually about the women's team, which it kind of tied into some of the stuff that we wanted to ask you, Adam. But are there any new team members and that any stick out to you particularly, and what can we expect from any of the new signings?
Yeah, there are 5 new players on the first team, and they've played 3 friendlies already. 2 were broadcast, 1 was not. So I get to watch some of the players play a decent number of minutes. I will say Mandy Reinhardt right away, she's been playing up on top and is wearing the number 9 and has already scored several goals in the 4th, 3rd, 2nd division. So I'm not exactly sure how we got Mandy Reinhardt, but we did. And she came in in the second half for her first appearance. And right off the bat, she pressured the goalkeeper to make a bad pass, picked it off and scored. And this was a game that was, it wasn't, a cakewalk of a game. It was only 1-0 at that point.
Yeah.
And then she scored again in the second half of that game. Brilliant first touch. She got a pass in from Lisa Clement on the left side. And I'm not even sure how she picked it up behind her and kicked it in front of her and just slotted it away. So she seems like a very, very clean striker who can score from many different, any type of build-up. She just seems like I've seen her play a total of 90 minutes. Can I say she's a complete package? Maybe. She looks really great. Leah Aufenberg is she's number 2. She was playing on the right wing, which surprised me because she was listed as a defender on the website, but she's been playing nothing but right wing so far. She's 19 years old, came from Bochum. First match, she came in the same time as Mandy. She assisted Leah Rocha-Harper on her goal. She played in the second match as well. I didn't really jot down any notes from that, but she is extremely fast. It reminded me a little bit of the Pokal match where we had so much speed going down both of the sides. She's very, very fast and will cause a lot of problems down there.
Do you think these new signings are coming in, I assume, with the mentality or that are coming from higher divisions of one of the big reasons I'm coming here, not only the pull of, Dortmund are a newer team and who have a lot of talent, but also a team that can continue to climb these divisions and keep getting promoted? I would imagine if they're from higher divisions, they're probably having that sort of mentality.
Yeah, I think that's the case. When they originally created the team, they didn't want to stock it with, second division players and whatnot, because they would be playing way, way, way above the competition level. But now that we've moved up here and we've got some cup matches that are going to be coming up against third division competition, the cup that we're in can go all the way up to the third division. So that opens us up to, bringing in players of I don't want to say a higher quality, but, other experience levels as well. And, because the core of the team is going to be the same. There's just a few players that came in. And one of them is a center back, Nora Reckenbach. She came from Kickers Offenbach. So it's Reckenbach from Offenbach. I think I have that right. She's 27. She's mostly played center back, but it's hard for me to gauge exactly how she looks because, again, there isn't a ton of defending that goes on in some of these games, of course. But in the third match that wasn't televised, the game summary did say that she played a remarkable game. So that was nice to see. Marie Grota is one that I can't find any information about. I don't know how old she is. I don't know where she came from. But she plays like a number 6, and she's awesome.
Is she the one that scored that long shot the other day, or did she assist it? I forget.
She assisted it.
Okay,
so
okay.
But she assisted it by like,
so she
I don't know if
Go
took
ahead,
it from the goalkeeper or took one pass from the defender or something, and like weaved in and out of the midfield, passed it to Vanessa Kuhl, who absolutely blasted it in.
That's who it was.
And I guess that's a couple things to note. Vanessa Heim is now Vanessa Kuhl.
Oh, okay.
She was married in the off season, so if you see that name change, that's why.
Okay. I was wondering that actually.
Yeah, so she had like 22 goals, 23 assists or something last year. So you're going to see the name a lot. And then one that I just saw yesterday, Hannah Schneider, who's one of our fullbacks, is now listed as Hannah Hentrich, which I don't know the story behind that. Maybe she got married. I don't know what happened, but I could ask about that because she is always up to chat about the games and stuff because she is absolutely awesome. And Hannah's awesome. And who else was there was one more player, Mia Macarena Badarf, which is just an absolutely awesome name to say. The only match she came in was the one that was not broadcast. She came in 30 minutes towards the end there. So I'm not sure exactly how she looks yet, but she's a midfielder. Gotcha. We do have 4 players that were on the team. So 3 of them are going to the new second team that has formed this year. Mm-hmm. And 2 of those are because they were so young, they couldn't actually play with the team last year.
Yeah, didn't we have like 16 and 17-year-olds, if I'm not wrong?
Yeah, what happened was when they joined the club, the understanding of the rules was that they were eligible, but then it turns out that they weren't. So they were given the option to return to their old clubs or stay with Dortmund, and they stayed. And they were there every match. But now it's Annalena West and Neil Droter. Annalena is an attacker. Neil is a defender. And what was awesome to see, Neil literally just turned 17, and she was captaining the second team in their first friendly. Wow, so that's awesome. That's a name to watch. I've heard that she's been really impressive in training. We haven't gotten to see her in a game yet, but it sounds like we have a good talent there. Lily Prinzen, center back, went from the first team to the second team. She's just going to kind of work on things there. We were a little bit deep at center back, so she's going to play on the second team, be one of the leaders there, and help that team come up. And then Laura Hole is the only player who is not returning. So I don't know what the story is there, but she left the club. She was a winger last year.
Wow. A lot of new, or a lot of movement in general, but I love the diversity of just like the personalities and the abilities across the board too. I mean, you mentioned already like a few months back when you've been on the show, how many different players can play so many different roles and not only play those roles, but be successful in those roles. And just like you mentioned again, also the younger players going down to captain the second team. It looks like a lot of the players have the right mentality to want to go and actually make this women's team successful, and, you know, from what I have seen, I haven't seen much, but I have watched a handful of their games. And, yeah, the talent's there. There's a lot of really talented players on that team.
Yeah, I'm excited to start watching the second team, too. I when it was announced, I was almost like, oh, my gosh, I poured my entire heart into this new team. Now there's a second team. How am I going to divide my attention? But they had their first friendly, as I mentioned. They won 5-0, so we might be looking at another very successful Dortmund team. The youngest player on the team, even younger than Neil, Michelle Holter, she came on in the second half, scored 2 goals and assisted 1. She doesn't turn 17 until December, so that's another player to keep an eye on. She looks like she's super tall, reminds me a little bit of Carolyn Call from the first team, who's like 18 years old and 6 feet tall. Mariana Neseva is 28 years old, one of the older players on the team, one of the veterans. She had a couple of assists in the half that she came on. So those are a couple names that popped out to me as players to watch, but I'm sure there will be more as we learn more about these players.
Nice. As we are covered, did you have something?
I did actually. I just had like 2 other questions because now I'm very interested. I'm sorry if you already mentioned this already, but did you mention what division the second team would be in now?
That's a good question. It's it's listed as the Kreisliga A qualification division, which last year the team played in the Kreisliga A, which is the 7th tier.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of the qualification division, so I'm not exactly sure what that is. Strangely, like it seems like it's not below the Kreisliga A, because one of the teams in the division with them is Solderholz, which was the team that finished second behind them last year and were really good.
Yeah.
So the fact that the new second team is in with Solderholz, I think means it's not a given that they're going to finish top of this table, because Solderholz is really good. Like the games against us were like 3-1 type games, not the 12-0 that we saw in other games. So I'll have to get you some information about what that means, because I'm just curious about what the promotion mechanisms are for a second team. Like, can they play in a cup? I saw that was a question that came in. I saw that they don't have any cup matches on their schedule right now. So maybe they can't as a second team, which would make sense. But yeah, the qualification division was something that was new to me.
Well, that just means you're going to have to come on another time. So darn it. You can collect more information and give us them.
That was planned. I didn't want to get all the answers.
Yeah. And then I just had one other question. How are you feeling about the competition for the first team in the Bezirksliga, if I'm not wrong? Are you feeling like we're going to be able to still compete at this kind of new level?
I definitely think that they will compete. My gut feeling is that they could probably top this division as well, just not, the
dominant
undefeated season with like 2 goals.
I was about to say,
I think we might be seeing a record that looks a little bit more like a football club than a video game. That's what I'm anticipating. So we'll see how that is. Their first cup match too is against a team 1 division higher, Wadersloh. I don't know them, but they play in the Landesliga in the 5th division. So they're going to have a tough cup match right away, but last year in friendlies, they were already playing some 5th division teams. In fact, I think one of the cup games was against a 5th division team. So, I mean, and, everything we throw at them, they handle, and they have reinforcements, which is scary if you think about it. Like if Mandy Reinhardt's going to be scoring goals like left and right, and Marie Grota already just like, I think that's going to be my player. That's like, it's going to be so fun to watch. Yeah. I love just a deep lying, like, guess what? I have the ball, near my own 18-yard box. And guess what? All of a sudden it's in the box on the other side.
It's on their 18-yard box. Yeah.
I love that. And, I'm never going to get tired of saying me and Macarena Badarf. So it's just going to be a fun season.
Yeah. So I'm reading off of actually your website, Adam, but their first match day for the Bezirksliga will be on August 21st against Westphalia Hagen. I probably botched that, but we'll obviously link it, all of Adam's work on on the description of this episode, but you can go to his website to find a bunch of other great information, and he's a great resource to have for the women's team at just darowski.com/BVB, DAROWSKI, and he's also on Twitter at Fußballtwit. He's a regular at this point, so I would imagine you know of his work, but if you're new around here, please be sure to check him out.
Yeah, and if you're not on doing a full episode with us, we're definitely going to have you to chime in with your women's updates throughout the episode, so we'll have that throughout too.
Always happy to. Yeah, I love when people are interested in hearing about it, so literally just ask me about it anytime on Twitter. DMs are open. Always happy to talk about the women's team.
I will say real quick, it's been so cool just like seeing the growth. Obviously last year was their first season, but it's seeing the growth through your Twitter account that I love. Because you last year you were always tweeting the videos and everything, but it just seems like recently so many more like replies and retweets, and like so many people are excited about the women's team. And it's just
as
been
they
really,
should be.
Yeah, as they should be. But it's been so cool. Like just watching your numbers on all your tweets just go up and up and up. It's like been really cool because that's where we can see like it is. And it's not just, it's more than just like people in Germany, but like people in the States seem to be getting excited. Like our normal like US Twitter sphere that we have here, like Dortmund Twitter sphere, it's like those people are getting excited about it too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's so cool to see like when there are new kit announcements and stuff, they're including the women's
team.
Yeah,
I saw that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just great to see that it's just fully integrated. They were there at the family day that they just had at the stadium. It's just the first year was great, and it looks like it's just going to build from there. And I love it.
Yeah, I love that. Like you said, they're just including them in everything, and you would almost think it'd be easy for them to like not get too hyped yet, like when they were playing in the 7th division and everything. But yeah, they're fully part of the club and the organization, which is cool. And we get to watch all the games, which is also, we've mentioned it before, it's ridiculous that we could watch 7th division women's
German women's soccer.
But yeah, it's awesome. And just to clarify,
even the friendlies, which is
to clarify, they are moving up to the 6th division this year. But yeah,
you need to be a part of this history, and again, a part of this long-term project. I know Adam's mentioned it on the show, countless times now, but the board chose to. Well, I guess the fans told the board to choose to not put the women's team in such a high division, but make this a project to actually go and build a club from the ground up, which is, it's just for the love of the game. It's what a lot of people around the world that love about this sport. So,
Adam, do you have any plans to get to Dortmund this year and the next year?
I don't. I've wondered how in the world will I get there, because I've got kids, they're all in school, and the only time that you'd be able to go is like in the summer. Yep. And that's of course when the games are not happening. So I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to get over there for the first time, but I was just got an email from the company doing the marketing with the club today about am I going to provide any stats for the mobile app this year and stuff like that. So already I got to think about what am I doing for the new year related to Dortmund, because I did a lot of stat recaps on the international mobile app last year using FBref, which is the day job. So get to play with stats after work too, and send them to the Dortmund folks and get it included in the app. So I get to do a lot of cool things, and I haven't been there yet, but I feel like I'm still part of it.
I was just about to say that too. I feel like you definitely are too. I mean, the club itself appreciates, how much work you're putting into, supporting not only just the women's team, but just the club in general, and being such a great resource for people around the world to go and learn more about the club as a whole.
I was going to say they're probably going to welcome you like a king when you show up.
I don't know about that, but I will say they definitely, they notice people doing this type of work, and they make people feel appreciated. And I just love this club. It's such a great family.
And we appreciate you, Adam.
Appreciate you guys too. You're doing a great thing here. I listen every week. I thought last week was a great episode too with Brian, and just so many good topics, and appreciate what you guys do as well.
Thank you very much for the kind words. Appreciate it. Slips
appreciate
Adam a 20.
Your Venmo.
That's my 5-star review.
Before we go, you're wearing a hat, so I'm going to throw this and mention Dortmund signing an official deal with a U.S.-based company called Official League, which it's kind of like a newer company. I think they started in February 2021, but to do like officially licensed merch here in the U.S. Their goal is to kind of expand their U.S. fan base, but it's going to be exclusive in America, and primarily they're doing hats. That's what this website, Official League, is doing hats. So there's going to be some cool Dortmund hats coming out. I think they're launching in October, but sometime in the fall is when they're official. They just announced yesterday, and so that's really cool to look out for as far as shipping costs.
Yeah,
when you want to order something from the official Dortmund store. But this is a way where obviously we have sites and resources like stores. You can get Dortmund merch in America, but this is cool that the team has actually partnered with them. And as we get more info and when it launches, we'll post more about it, because it's just a cool thing that it's like this small company that Dortmund has linked up with to put out some new hats. So you're going to have to get one of your official league hats.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I very proudly wear the Terzic one with the that design underneath.
Yeah, I didn't notice that till this now.
See, Terzic helped me pick out a hat because I have a abnormally large head, and I looked at that guy and I said, that guy looks like he does too. So if that fits him, I'm getting that hat. And sure enough, it fit.
I was thinking the exact same thing, actually. Not about you, but about myself. I have an alien like head myself, and I was like, shit, if I could wear a hat, that'd be nice too.
Just watch what Eden wears.
Yeah.
Well, they got their first few customers already. We'll be donning some hats as soon as they drop. That's all I had though about the hat stuff.
That's all I have.
Cool. And yeah, we're gonna link everything to Adam, so make sure you follow him. Check out his website. And when did you say their first game was?
21st.
21st. Well, they have the cup match the 14th. But,
14th.
Then 21st for the league.
Cool. And then Dortmund men's this Saturday, August 6th, Bundesliga starts at home versus Leverkusen, 12:30 Eastern time, 11:30 Central time.
Any St. Louis fans who aren't involved with the Borussia St. Louis fan club already, please feel free to reach out to their Twitter. I will be at the bar watching with the fan club. The guy who runs it, Nathan, is a great guy. He will give you all the information you need about joining. Gives free things to people pretty much every time as well. So if any St. Louis listeners are interested in going and watching the league opener, we'll be there. Also, any other fan clubs that are listening, because I know a lot of the New York guys listen, and we randomly got a ton of listeners from Florida the other day. So if there's a fan club in Florida, let us know. We'll plug any. If you got a watch party, obviously you probably do since it's opening weekend. Let us know so we can share and get the word out. But thanks for hanging out, guys. This has been great as always. It's always good. Thank you, Adam. As always, appreciate you coming.
I definitely enjoyed it. Thank you.